Hey YouTubers, Steven here. How's everybody's day going? Alright, well, we got a little bag of grains and we're going to do an all grain experiment today here at Cool Brewing. Figure everyone else is throwing out little brewery names, and I think some of them actually do have their own little brewery, so hey, why not, right? Cool Brewing works for me. Alright. Now, this bag of grains isn't very big, but it is just your basic pale ale all grain recipe. There's 4 kilograms of two-row, 340 grams of Munich Malt, and 230 grams of Crystal Malt. Now, I don't remember, I believe they're like 10 or 20, but either way, I'll have all the full ingredients list in the more info. To add to this, we've got some Galena hops and some Cascade hops. So, you're probably wondering, subject line, did he misspell it? No. It's the name I actually come up with. I'm combining my 2 favorite recipes together. I love ales, and pale ales, it's a pretty neutral beer for doing experiments. If you remember my pumpkin pale ale that I made, my ginger pale ale. So this one's going to be no different. But what am I adding to it? You might have already guessed it, because Appale Ale kind of has that ring to what I'm adding. Yeah, I'm combining my hard cider recipe, minus the brown sugar, with a pale ale. So, my water's almost heated up. We can talk more about this after, so let's move the camera and let's get mashing our grains. Alright, first we're going to start off with 12 liters of water. This is at 77 degrees Celsius. This is our strike temperature. And since I have it, I'm going to add some pH stabilizer to it. So since this is only a teaspoon, I have to add 3. I don't know where my tablespoon measurement or measuring spoon went to, but that's alright. Google's awesome for converting stuff, so I have no worries. Alright, let's get our grains in here. Good, we'll give her a little stir, make sure we got no dough balls. So, you're probably wondering how I'm going to do this. Well, the plan is, this is a 23 liter recipe for pale ale that I found online. And of course it seems pretty neutral. But what I'm going to do is I'm only making this 19 liters of wort, and then I'm going to add 15 containers of frozen apple juice concentrate. That should give me a fairly good balance between the apple and the pale ale. Let me get all the grains out here. I think we got her. Okay, so we'll give this a good stir, get everything stirred in. So, the only problem I found with Beersmith is in the Linux version, I can't add ingredients to it. Or at least I haven't figured it out yet. Wow, what a beautiful smell this is. Alright, so grains are all in. Let's get a temperature here. See what we're sitting at. There we go, 69 Celsius. And that's exactly where Beersmith said I should be. So, Get a cover on here. We're going to leave this steep for an hour and we'll be back. Alright, so we got a couple minutes in between here. I got my grain steeping over here. I got my sparge water heating up back here. So let's talk a little more about my recipe idea. Now, love hard cider. Love making it. I haven't made it in a little while. Seeing Big CQ's videos on hop cider got me thinking. Want to try it? One of these days, I will try it, Big CQ. But then I started thinking, it's like, what if, you know, I get some hops, and I thought about using dried malt extract or maybe some liquid malt extract, and you know what? All grain brewing is fun, so why not come up with an all grain recipe? And that's where I started thinking, if I use the frozen juice from concentrate, let's turn it around to the English side, and I was quite surprised to find out that you can't get frozen concentrate juices in that many places. It seems to be a Canadian and an American thing, but that's too bad. Companies in the other parts of the world, pay attention. People want this stuff, especially us homebrewers, right? So, anywho, in Beer Smith, the alcohol content just for the pale ale should come out in around 5%. Now, I did add a little extra hops to it just so that it's a little hoppy, but the IBUs in Beer Smith puts it in around 50 IBUs, so it's just that borderline, so that it's just almost too much hops for pale ale, but I'm still within, you know, the normal limits of it. I didn't want to go too crazy, but here's what we need to figure out. 15 of these little suckers, alright, it's going to add 2.2 kilograms of natural sugars. And basically all I did was I took the serving size, alright, which was 63 milliliters, and it's 26 grams of sugar that's in there. Hopefully that'll come out alright on the camera. So all I had to figure out was, you know, 283 milliliters in this little container. How many 63 milliliters do I have? And then multiply that by the 26 grams of sugar. And then multiply that by 15 containers. And that's how I come up with 2.2 whatever for sugar. So basically took the 23 liter batch, scaled it down to 19 liters so that I can add the 15 containers of juice, which should bring me up to 23 liters. So here's to hoping that the hard cider that I usually make, minus the brown sugar, comes out around, or has a nice, you know, body to it to go with the apple flavor. I mean, there's lots of beers out there that have, you know, the hint of apple in it or sour apple in it. The Gruit Ale that I made, that had a really nice sour apple flavor from the Labrador tea and the Sweet Gale that I put into it instead of hops. So I'm really excited about this. This is going to be fun. I'm teasing everybody on Facebook saying that I'm brewing today, but I'm not telling anybody what I'm brewing. So sorry Jake, sorry everyone for the suspense, because now you're watching this, now you want to see what the hell I'm making. So at the end of this video, I'm going to have Jake come over, I'm going to have him try it. I'm not telling him anything about the beer. I'm not telling him what ingredients I use for the all grains or anything. So I want this to be a total surprise. I want to have a lot of fun with this, so stay tuned and let's see what Jake's got to say, because I think this is going to turn out really good. I'm feeling really positive of it. I'm putting my neck out on the line, because normally when I brew something experimental, I don't say anything until the video's out, and if the video goes out, that means it was good. Now, that's not to say I haven't failed at an experiment. I've just been extremely lucky that everything that I've made experimentally has actually turned out. So, you know, everybody, have fun with it. Experiment. Because this is how new recipes get designed. So, anyways, enough chatter, rambling, blah, blah, blah. I know I'm good for that. So, strike water's or the sparge water, sorry, is almost ready. And I'm going to do something different today. Instead of doing a fly sparge, I'm going to do a batch sparge. So, let's stay tuned for that. Alright, so our steeping time is up. I did check the temperature. I only lost 2 degrees with this batch, so that's actually not too bad. So let's get a little whirl off going. So far, so good. It's got a nice color to it. It's light, like a pale ale should be. So, yeah, definitely nice color. One of the interesting things that I got from the Beersmith podcast with Denny Kahn, and that's the one about batch sparging, is once this is running clear like this, he says there's no need to just let it trickle out because there's no more chunks going to come out once the grain bed is settled. So I may just step up my drain just a little bit, may save a little time. Because past batches I've taken almost an hour to drain out the wort. That's not too bad, it's coming along. Alright, so we'll do this a couple more times, we'll get this draining in, and I think we'll come back when we're ready for the boil. Alrighty, we're back before we do the boil. I figured I'm going to show you the batch sparge. Now, Denny didn't say how, so I'm adding hot water directly to the grains here. Now, my sparging was in 2 steps. It did say to sparge, add 2 liters of sparge water, and our sparge water temperature is 75 degrees Celsius. I added that as I was draining. And then this here is another 15 liters of water at 75 degrees. Now, what he said in the podcast, if I remember correctly, was to add it, give it a little stir, and we're going to let this sit for 15, I can't remember if he said 10 or 15 minutes. We'll let it sit for 15 minutes anyways. We'll let everything settle down a little bit, get the rest of the sugars out of our grains this way. So we'll be back. Alright, our boil just started, so we're going to hit our timer. This is a 90-minute boil, and I picked up a paint straining bag because I'm going to actually strain my hops today. So we have a 1 ounce of Galena. In it goes. We're going to stick this in here. Let's get this going. And I also got a little clip so I can just clip this on the side and somebody's sending me a text. How rude when I'm brewing. Alright, so the hops are in for 90 minutes. And the next hop addition isn't until we get down to 15 minutes, so we'll be back. Alright, so we're down to 15 minutes of our boil. Holy doodles, that pot's hot. Alright. Now we're adding a 1 ounce of Cascade. So let's pop this in here. Oh, I dropped the hop in my boil. Oopsie. Alright. Get this clip back on here. Give a little push down the bag so it gets going. Alright, so we've got a Wurflock tablet in 10 minutes and 1 more ounce of Cascade. 5 minutes to the end of our boil. We'll be back. Alright folks, here we are. 5 minutes left in the boil. I already threw in the Wurflock tablet. I'm sure you weren't too concerned. Wow, the steam is burning my fingers off. I'm sure you've all seen that. You've probably seen all these pop editions too, so, but that's okay. 5 minutes in the boil, we'll be back. All right, everybody, the wort is chilling, so let's go to our next step, and let's add our apple juice while we're waiting, shall we? Sterilize bucket. Get all of our juice in here. There's too much light going on in the background. I can see on the camera I keep fading in and out. In and out. That's alright. You get the idea anyways. So 15 containers of these frozen juice from frozen apple juice from concentrate in here. Alright, everybody, we're back. I've put my wort in my fermenting bucket. My boil off seemed to be a little higher than normal. Maybe I should have actually checked my my pre-boil volume before I did. Anyways, I had to add 1.5 liters of water. So you know what? I'm not far off. Checking my gravity here, and what I've got is 101.078. Now, when we calibrated my hydrometer, I was off by 2 points, so 1.080 is our starting gravity. So that's going to be some good brew. So let's get the rest of this in here. I want to leave a little nip for myself. You know what? This is good stuff, folks. Other than being incredibly sweet, this is going to be delicious. So there's only one step left to do. Alright, I was in an hour into my boil, and you can see my smack pack is getting pretty fluffy. It's just the Wyeast 1056 American Ale. So we'll get this bad boy open, and let's get our yeast in here. Hopefully I won't take that the container that the yeast stays in, or the nutrients. Put that all in here. Tick-tock. Alright, and the little thingy didn't come out of the bag. Yay for me! You ever wonder what those things look like? That's it. Just a little pack that you bust open. Great idea. Actually, it's a little yeast. Can't miss any of the good stuff. Alright, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. And stay tuned, because right after this, I'm having Jake sit down and do the beer review with me. Of course, I'll already have one before he comes over, just so I know exactly what he's tasting and try and get an idea for where he's going with it. So stay tuned. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Stay tuned, and let's see what Jake thinks about this. Alright, everybody, it's review time. I hope you recognize this fella. If you don't, check out his channel, JakeandDar. So, you ready for this?
Yeah, I guess so. So this is the mystery beer?
This is the experimental beer, and let me tell you, it's almost gone.
It's that good, is it?
Oh my God, it's good. So I'm not telling you anything about it. I know you've seen the initials on the top, but
I can't figure that one out.
that's alright.
AP, I don't know what that stands for. Apple. Want me to pop it? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you can pop it. I have to admit, no, I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything.
Well,
Give her a pour.
Got an aroma right out of the bottle.
Ooh, that one's happy to be open.
What? Drinking on a Monday? What?
Monday afternoon at that. The head quality is not as good as I was hoping, but it's still not too bad. And it might be a little cloudy from bringing it over.
Nice color.
It does have a very nice color.
Very amberish. Yeah, amber, golden amber color. Yeah.
Can you smell it from the glass?
Sometimes you can smell it more, like when you're about a foot away. Yeah.
Pops it out of the.
And then you go right direct. It's like, can't really get that smell like I could smell back here. You know.
So what do you smell?
Huh. The aroma, the essential aroma. I'm smelling like I can smell like the lager, like sort of, maybe that's the grains I'm smelling. I think I'm smelling
a
the
little
grains.
bit is the grains, yeah. The first thought that I had was when you smelled it, you may think you're smelling esters, but there's.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any esters.
Huh. I know when I popped the bottle, I smelled something along the lines of something fruity type of aroma. I'm not sure whether it was apple or maybe a different type of fruit.
Well, 17, everybody. Let's give it a swig.
I'm not picking up much here, like
No, well,
just the beer, just basically the beer scent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
17, everybody.
17.
It's different. Wait for the finish.
The mystery beer.
See, half the fun with Jake doing this review without having any idea what I've done is he has nothing to say, oh, well, these are the flavors that I expect when he buys these craft beers in the stores. But not knowing what to expect or what might be in it.
Yeah.
It definitely has you thrown for a loop.
And I'm like I say, I'm not one of those beer connoisseurs that can really pick apart all the flavors.
So do you want me to tell you what it is?
I don't claim to be. I am getting that aftertaste. There's definitely some kind of like a bitter apple flavor, apple bitter flavor, like on Granny Smith apples, sort of in the aftertaste.
One thing that I was surprised is it when it was young, when I first bottled it, it reminded me a lot of my Gruit with that really sour apple, but the aging has done really well for this beer because it's taken the bitterness and that sour apple and kind of mellowed them together.
Yeah.
And it just gives it the nice appley aftertaste.
Yeah.
But this is what I call a pale ale. It was an all-grain pale ale that I did. And then I added 15 cans of apple juice from concentrate, trying to combine the hard cider with a little more mouthfeel with something from a pale ale.
Wow, it's interesting. It's really interesting.
It is an interesting beer, and it came out at 9%.
And it is this is an all grain?
This is an all grain beer, except for the 15 cans of apple juice concentrate that I put into it.
Wow, that's very interesting. I actually really like that apple. It's almost like you've been into a Granny Smith and you're getting that little bit of sour granny apple flavor in the aftertaste.
Yeah, it wasn't the cheapest beer to make with all the apple juice that I put into it, but it's certainly very sessionable.
Yeah, it is very nice. And it's got quite a fair amount of body. Like it's malty.
Yeah,
it's got a good malt.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I found with my first taste. You get the pale ale. It's it's light. It's a beer that you could definitely drink on a hot afternoon. Lord knows, as hot as it was this weekend, I had quite a few.
That is very nice. I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised how well that tastes. I mean, it tastes just like a high quality craft beer that I would buy from the special store. Seriously, I could almost compare it a little bit to that sour beer that I have. I've only ever had one sour beer, and that was that Duchess de Bourgogne. So
that's what I was thinking that you would have thought of.
Well, it's got the same sort of a little bit of sour in it, like that. But those who like that type of beer would really like this, definitely.
Yeah.
But the sour is definitely not, it's not even overpowering either. Like
Yeah,
it's there, it's mild, but you
It
can
was
taste
in the
it.
beginning. Like 2 weeks after I bottled it, the sour was bang right there, along with the bitterness from the hops. But with the aging, it just really mellowed out.
Wow. That's really nice. Uh-huh. And just for the most part, I mean, it's getting just the two basic flavors is some good flavor from the grains,
Yeah.
and then the Granny Smith sour apple coming in, a little bit of that coming in afterwards. Not really a little, but just mid-ground,
Yeah.
enough that you can taste it well, but that doesn't overpower at all. It's really nice. It's nice when an experiment works out, eh?
Yes.
And you're happy. It's like, wow, I can't believe this.
I can actually drink it.
Yeah.
But how many experiments have we done? And they've always turned out. So that's half the fun of home brewing, is doing experiments, folks.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I like it.
Yeah, I figured you would.
How much do I owe you? 9%.
You don't owe me anything. Now, see, this one's nice and clear. So
Yeah.
maybe this bottle didn't get shook as much as your bottle got shook.
But
shit.
at least you didn't get hardly any sediment, like virtually no sediment.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. I like that when there's hardly any sediment when I make a beer.
Yeah,
So-
sometimes I don't mind the sediment, though. But, yeah, with this beer, no sediment. I'm just babbling on now. I don't know what I'm saying.
So you're almost gone. It's almost gone, eh? The carbonation is bang on too. It's exactly what you need. Yours looks like yours is a little less than mine.
Yeah, it's a little
Well,
less.
One of the beers, I don't know which one, but I noticed when you had them on the table, I noticed one beer was a lot lower, like had less headspace. One was filled up to about there, and then the other one was kind of like here. So I don't know if that makes a difference in.
This one might have been low.
Yeah.
And it might have been I might not have checked the bottles when I pulled it out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I'm bottling, I'll just
Yeah.
fill it up to whatever I got
Yeah.
left and just take the risk.
Apparently, less headspace is better. It's best, like the less
Yeah.
you can get.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't carbonate quite enough.
Right. Okay.
If there's you got too little in the bottle, then there's too much headspace and it doesn't build up the pressure properly.
Mm.
That was always my theory.
Wow. I'm gonna have to, once I come across some cash, I'm gonna have to go splits on a nice all grain batch with you.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to
Yeah.
get together and do a couple of all greens out in the backyard this summer.
For sure.
Maybe
Why
do the honey rye IPA.
Yeah, I found that was a really good beer, even though you had a little bit of a problem with it, or a little bit of a oopsie, whatever. It still
Yeah.
turned out really nice,
It
considering.
wasn't bad being watered down. But I definitely like this. I'll definitely be making that one again. That and the Celebration IPA.
I know who would really like that beer.
Gee. Marco?
I wonder. Yes, he would love this. He would absolutely love this. This is really nice, yeah.
There you go, Marco. Jake thinks you'll absolutely love it, so you're going to have to give this a try, buddy.
You'll have to put the recipe somewhere. It's not a mystery anymore.
Well,
is
I
it?
can definitely
Is it a secret?
No,
Okay.
not a secret now.
Secret? All right.
So, yeah, I'll put the ingredients down below in the more info. And that way, you guys can try it at home as well. Hopefully you can get the apple juice from concentrate. But, yeah, I found this very similar to my gruit, so I may try and brew another gruit and
It's nice, yeah.
play with the Labrador tea and the bog myrtle.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it there.
Some of that stuff is hard to find, though, right?
Not down in my woods.
Oh no. Okay.
No, there's all kinds of it here in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Anywhere's in this parallel between, across North America, Nova Scotia, Maine, New England, New Brunswick, Quebec. You should be able to get those.
Yeah.
No problem out in the woods.
Yeah.
Just got to
Absolutely.
find a swampy area.
That's cool. Maybe one of these days we'll get together with some of the other boys around here and do a bigger beer review, eh?
Mm.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, I said hey.
Hey,
That's a good idea. I'd like to get, whoever, right?
Revolutionary Brewer.
Yeah, maybe we can get him around. Do a bigger beer review, homebrew review. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure, something that turns out really nice.
Maybe hophead.
Maybe.
All right, folks. Well, we're not going to keep it much longer. So thanks for watching. And if you try the recipe, send me a line and let me know what you think. Cheers.
Cheers.